children. Wait a minute. I got a box here. Let's see. We got to cut this open. Look at what I got. So, wait a minute. Let me put that back. Gotta keep this knife on me. You just never know when somebody may try to start it. Y'all see this here? Coco coir. And you can order this from Walmart online. Wait a minute. Let me put my boots on. You boys stop fighting. Who is that? Are you all fighting or are you playing? Look here. I started this video and then y'all started right up. Right on cue. Garfield, I know you're not innocent. Neither are you, Felix. You turn your back to me if you want. Y'all be good. Where's your brother, Chrissy? Okay, y'all, let's go around here. Ooh, that camellia bush is looking on food. I guess that some of that cold must have touched it. It ain't gonna kill it, though. I got to cut this gardenia back some. We going the back way, people. We going the back way. So, y'all hear the puppies barking. They so pitiful. You can't do anything without them being nosy. As I'll get out. So we're going to go back here and we're going to get the day started. Now, I'm not going to do no gardening right this second. Because here in a minute, I'm going to the gymnasium. So, wait a minute. Okay. But what I am going to do is start off and show you all. Y'all don't mind. Do not mind me and my... We're going to turn this tub up and that tub is empty. And we're going to take our knife and we're going to slice that plastic like so. This is usually the one I get because you can get this big brick really reasonably. So this is why this is the one I usually get. But I just wanted to show me hydrating this. I did a video on this. Come on out of there. Trying to play with my emotion. I did a video on this years ago. And I do mean years. And what we're going to do is, come back here. We shall not litter in one's own yard. But I wanted to show you all just how much soil this actually turns into. So I'm going to put the water on it. And then I'm going to come back later. But, oh, there's the neighbor's dogs. I'm going to start calling, that big one looks like some kind of hound dog. I'm going to start calling him Duke. Y'all remember Duke from the Beverly Hillbillies? That was Jed Clampett's dog. But Duke didn't move. Duke would just lay on the floor. But anyway. Y'all hear Duke. It's a little dog too. Y'all probably heard him barking in the... Now I'm going to start with that amount of water. If I need more, I'll add more. That was about maybe 2.5 gallons. That was just some rainwater. It doesn't have to be rainwater, y'all. You can use tap water, use what you have. But I'm going to come back and show y'all what that looks like once it's hydrated and show y'all how much you get out of it. And I'm going to show y'all what I mix it with to add to my beds. Y'all see y'all freeing. That's good, baby. Sharpen. Sharpen. That way I can use your little claws to open my packages. I wouldn't have to have knives. I could just use your little feet. Yes, baby. Anyhow, I'm going to go in here because I got to get something out of this greenhouse. But y'all stay tuned. Because like I said, I want to show y'all what I'm doing this year to fill up these beds and what I'm using. The only thing I bought was coconut coir. Let me look around and make sure everything looks all right. Let me go check on the little stuff back here. which this one little Brussels sprout is steadily trying to give me something. Okay, they're still growing. I got many plants in there, but these mulberries steadily, they're putting out more mulberries as it gets taller and taller. That sucker there is growing. It's growing. That's what I like to see. I like to see that, and I can't wait till my goji berry starts blooming and everything. But I've got to hurry up because I've got to get these vining plants in the ground. Garfield just out there just walking. Garfield, you ain't got no business. I just want to let you know you don't have any business. Whatever you're doing, put a pin in it. I'll take this off. Somebody's been up on this shelf, and this Negro is up on this which kind? Up on this greenhouse. Get down. And which one of y'all tried to get up on this shelf? I know you got up here and knocked my shelving down. Look at him, y'all. I know y'all think this is the most hilarious thing in the world. I don't have any control. Zero. All I know is you sure to look comfortable. You don't look like you're protected anything. I believe he thinks this is some kind of hammock for him to lay on. Garfield, don't you try to go for my hand. Look, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. You hindering my process. Look at him. He gonna get me. Let me leave him alone. Okay, Garfield, until next time, tell the people you'll see them later. Garfield, tell the people. Say bye. You wag your tail? Okay, bye. Okay, we back out here a couple hours later. Hey, Chrissy. Chrissy. Come here, baby. Look at him. He ain't paying me no attention. Him and Garfield been out here running. Speaking of Garfield. So I'm back out here. Remember my coconut coir? I'm back out here, and this is how it looks. Can y'all see? It soaked up all the water, and now it's just, you can crumble it all up. Now hopefully the middle is a little drier, but I do believe it'll all crumble up. So you see how much that big old brick turned into how much soil, well, growing media, because this ain't really soil. You can turn it into soil. You can use it to amend your soil, but this ain't really soil. But yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this by hand. I'm really trying to make sure it's all saturated all the way through. But that's the way you want it. So y'all, I put about 2.5 gallons or half of a 5-gallon bucket worth of water in there. If you want to know how much, and that's the biggest bricks that you can get. That's those bricks that weigh 10 or 11 pounds. I think that's how they measure coco coir. And I think they say it makes, I forget how many cubic feet of growing medium. But now let me say this, instead of buying seed starter, because this is so fine and will hold water really good but still drain really good, you can just use straight coconut coir instead of using seed starting mix. I mean, people go out here and pay extra money for seed starting mixing, which I don't understand is a lot of times seed starting mix, all they do is sift that raggedy ass potting soil. And that's what it is. And potting soil, here's the thing. I'm not trying to crap on potting soil, but there's really no nutrition in it. But I think that's most of the soils, with the exception of maybe the Miracle Grow or whatever. But I don't even know what's in that Miracle Grow stuff. I assume Miracle Grow. I mean, you know, even the one that says organic, I'm sorry, I don't trust Miracle Grow. Y'all been making that blue fertilizer for eons until people started saying they wanted something more natural. Then here you come talking about organic. I'm the type of person that if a company was going to do what was right, they would have done what was right from jump. They're not going to do what's, you know, start offering these eco-friendly versions because people want it. No, you just want money at this point. And sometimes you have to look at corporations and companies to understand that. That's why Miracle Grow don't get my money. So, you know, somebody gave me a bag a while back because I know somebody going to say it. Well, I saw you using some. And this is charcoal, y'all. This is charcoal that I made naturally. It's been in the yard for a while, so there are some leaves in here, but leaves is not going to wreck what I'm about to do, because right now I'm about to turn this into some soil that I can add to my beds or what have you. So I'm just gonna take y'all with me. So that's one ignorant scoop of charcoal. Y'all forgive me, I'm dropping stuff. And then I've got this thingamabobber here, and I'm just gonna use this to kind of mix it in. This is what I meant by I don't know why I'm mixing this by hand when I have tools that I can do this with. But yeah, I'm a firm believer. See, there's a difference between kind and nice. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. Nice is when you screw up and you be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, and that's well and fine. But some of this stuff, you wouldn't have been doing it from jump if you were truly a kind person. Kind people have forethought. Kind corporations have forethought. You get what I'm saying? It's not one of these things where you're just like, oh, my bad, which I realize everybody make mistakes, but you know what I'm saying? When these corporations out here getting this money, this is not, you know what I'm saying? This is not by happenstance that they're doing these things. But anyway, but I'm saying all that to say, I really don't recommend buying seed starting mix, because to me, you're spending extra money for something you can get on your own. Take you some potting soil and sift it. And if you don't have, you use like hardware cloth, something that's like 1/4 of an inch, or if you've ever seen, let me show y'all, you can get them on Amazon. I think I paid, I know I got mine years ago now, so I got mine way before COVID. So this is, you know, COVID done went through and all the prices and everything goes out the, these cats been up in here, these cups. They're steadily trying to get on these shelves. Anyway, I'm going to try to show y'all what you can use to sift it. I don't know what they cost at the moment, y'all, but they use them for panning for gold. And I've shown them before. I have two. This top one, it's got a bunch of seeds and crap in it. But you see how, and this one is 1/4 inch. This is 1/8 of an inch. This is 1/4 of an inch. So you can sift it through these, y'all, and you can sift it. They fit over a 5-gallon bucket because, like I said, they're designed to be used for gold mining when you're panning for gold, and you progressively get smaller, screen over screen over screen. But you can use. They even have them in 1/2 inch. If I was gonna screen potting soil, I would either use 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch on those. And I think they're called gold panning. I don't know. I'll look it up and maybe put it in the description. But yeah, if I was y'all, I would just buy regular potting mix and sift it. Or you can do what I'm doing. Now, I put charcoal in this, and I know I haven't gotten all the way to the bottom, so this isn't completely mixed, because this little what I'm using is kind of hard to get all the way to the bottom. And some of those bigger pieces of charcoal I'm going to break up. Now, you can also sift your charcoal down real fine too. I'm not going to put a ton of charcoal in this because I have a lot of charcoal in my beds already. But that's going to be a scoop of that. And then let me show y'all. I'm going to get a scoop of worm casting and put down in there. So many people say, oh, don't put no fertilizer on your seeds, you know, all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't suggest no strong fertilizer, but worm castings is not a strong fertilizer that will burn your stuff. I have started seeds in straight worm castings before, just because the worm castings, the texture of them was so light and fluffy that I knew that it would be ideal for me to start my seeds in. And y'all see my worm castings here. I may actually put them in a bucket. And that's another, these are still kind of super wet. They're not really dry. I think I'm gonna leave the top off of this so that I can, cause that's actually just a little bit sticky cause it's a little wet. My worm castings got a little too wet, but it's still living worms in here as well, small ones. But it's okay, y'all. If your worm castings get too wet, you can, since this is in my greenhouse, I'm gonna leave the top off and it should be warm enough and they should dry out some. But these are completely finished worm castings, at least far as I'm concerned. Lord, y'all know y'all friend. Garfield, please do not make me cuss on camera. Okay, so this is about, I've got just about half of, let me hold the thing. Hold it so y'all can see. This is just about half a bucket of worm castings. Remember the one I said I let finish? That's the worm castings from that one. Okay? So I'm not gonna take this shovel again. That's a bone. Like a chicken bone or something. Let's throw that back over now. I don't even know how that bone got in there. Hey, Chrissy. Your brother's up top. Like a fool. You better jump out on me. Garfield. Then he gonna sit down. You know, that bothers me. When he lay down and get comfortable. That bothers me. I mean that. They my little minions, but good Lord. They too much sometimes. So, this is drier than the worm castings. So, when I mix the worm castings in with this here, this will soak up, the coconut coir will soak up a lot of the moisture and stuff from the worm castings. And it's probably going to end up being a really, really good mix. Now, let me tell y'all why I use coconut coir and why I think you should be using coconut coir. First of all, it's a renewable source. Anytime y'all see, well, if you've ever seen a real coconut, they have this green husk on the outside. By the time you see them in the store, they just had that brown part, and it's a little furry. But there's another thick husk on the outside. They take that off. If you ever watch any videos in the islands or people that grow real coconuts or whatever in Florida or somewhere in the tropics, you'll see them. You beat that, you take that ground. They usually use a pointed stick, and they get the outside, that kind of green fibrous husk off. And then, you crack your coconut open, or you poke a hole in it. Or if you eating a coconut like jelly coconut, that's a young one. You really just kind of cut the top open, and you can drink the liquid, and then it's like jelly on the inside, and you eat that part. It doesn't even have that the brownish. Let me see if I can show y'all some of these worms. That's a tiny, tiny worm right there. I don't know if y'all can see it on my finger. But yeah, so there are worms in here. So I'm going to be careful as I mix this in. I'm not saying that I won't kill them, but I'm going to try to be as careful as I can. But yeah, so that's where they get coconut coir from. The husk is something that is basically a byproduct of processing coconuts. So it's renewable. People are not going to stop eating coconuts for nothing. They're not going to stop using them for the different stuff that they use them for. You can use the coconut husk for a lot of different things. I think they even make scrub brushes or something. I've seen people wash, because it's so fibrous, it's like a scrubbing mitt. I've seen people wash stuff with them, or you can burn it. I've seen people start fires with them if it's dry enough. But coconut coir is just, it's a renewable source. It's not, but whereas peat moss is not. That's number one. Peat moss, they just taking that stuff out of bogs, and once you take it out of the bogs, that's it. And bogs are a habitat for a lot of different creatures. A bog is a very specific kind of habitat. It's almost like a swamp, but it's more, I think they're more in the north though. But bogs are very specific habitats, and when you destroy them by digging out all the peat moss, you're disturbing the animals, the plants, everything. And it's not something that can just be made again. It takes a very, very long time to make peat moss. I think they say it takes centuries to build up some of the deposits where they're digging a lot of this peat moss out at. So I don't use peat moss. I stay away from it. So I use coco coir. It's more sustainable, but not only that, it will hold moisture, but it also drains really, really well. See how you can clump it together, but it'll fall right back apart. It's very easy for you to start seeds in. And also, as it breaks down over time, earthworms will eat it because it is a plant matter. Over time, it will break down and it will feed your beds. So it actually will fertilize your beds and stuff as it breaks down. Piece of plastic. The worms don't eat plastic. So I just find that coconut coir is a better thing to use. Like I said, I don't even use peat pots and stuff like that. I don't use none of that stuff. All of that stuff really is just designed for you to spend your money though. It's not, all that stuff is just designed for you to spend more money. And I'm not one of these people that's going to tell you to spend a ton of money. At least this, you can buy it. And you see one brick almost filled this whole tote. This tote is 3/4 full with coco coir. So it's like, that's one brick. One brick costs like 12 bucks, I think. And I know some people are going to say, oh, but it goes a long way. Because if you mix it in with compost, or if you're starting seeds, that one brick, look how much you got. It'll last for a very long time before you have to buy any more. And like I said, the prettiest soils that I have in my beds, and at the end of this video I'll probably go show you after because I'm just kind of trying to mix some of this in. I'm gonna mix it better off camera. I'm gonna like really get in here and mix it better. But honest to God, the best soils, the best beds that grow the best stuff were the ones that I use coconut coir in. And I mean, I think it was between the coconut coir and the charcoal. I think that really was just like the perfect mix, because the coconut coir was feeding the soil and the charcoal was retaining the moisture. Because remember what I tell y'all about using charcoal? That's a freaking zip tie. Like, out of all this different stuff, so much stuff gets in my worm bins. I don't even see how this stuff get in there. But anyway, yeah, it's like, dump that whole thing in there. So yeah, it's like the coco coir was feeding the soil, along with whatever fertilizers I was using. The charcoal was soaking it up and retaining all the nutrients. The coco coir kept the bed moist, but not too moist. And it was the perfect, it ended up being the perfect environment for a lot of the stuff that I grew. And now that those beds are sinking and I've used other things, just experimenting. And I think I just got lucky that first time. I was right on the money with the coconut coir the first time. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just stick with what you know. And I'm sure y'all are tired of seeing me dig around in this stuff. But, and that's another reason why people always, you should wear gloves. I can't feel the soil like that, y'all. I can't feel what it's supposed to feel like. And I think that's a lot of times because our ancestors didn't use no gloves. I get it if you, don't get me wrong, Dan will tell you in a minute, he in Florida. You dig down in their soils and they got venomous snakes and spiders that'll kill you, which we got brown recluses and stuff like that here. But in this particular instance, I'm not too worried about it. I knew where all this stuff was. It was in various containers where there weren't any spiders or what have you. But like I said, when it comes to this, I really just like to feel it and really see what it feels like. And really, just kind of because I know what it's supposed to feel like. I know how loose it's supposed to be. I know how moist it's supposed to be, and this is almost perfect. Once again, it'll hold together, fall right apart. And like I said, it will hold water to a point, but it'll also, it will also drain water. So it will not become, swampy. Ain't that right, Chris? So this is how I'm making this. I'm going to use this particular stuff to top off a lot of the beds that I have in the front. And perhaps I'll set my tripod up and show y'all that. I just kind of did this on the fly, just holding the camera. But if you have any questions or you want to add anything, just let me know. Put it in the comment section. Anybody who knows my channel knows I generally interact with my comment section pretty good. And y'all have some really funny comments and insightful comments, because some of y'all add to it and say, well, you could do this or you could do that. And sometimes I have done those things before. I just forget to mention it. Or, like I said, I just forget to mention it. Because I'm usually focused on what I'm doing, the task at hand. But yeah, y'all, so let me show y'all what beds I'm talking about that I made. You know what? I'm talking, I could show y'all. Hopefully this won't take too long. I'll drag this over here. I got some beds right over here. And I will fill up these beds. I know this video might be getting a little long in the tooth because I had two parts. I know I showed y'all me putting the water in here and stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, that's heavy. And I ain't got the best angle on it to where I can. So what I'm gonna do is, I say I'm gonna do that. Hell, I may just have to struggle. Let me just go on and struggle. See, this is why I go to the gym, y'all, because you have to look at Felix. Felix, buddy boo. He run off. Anyway, you just have to go on and get strong and just go on and do. Ain't nobody got time. Sometimes stuff just take too much time. Anyway, now that I'm breathing hard. But yeah, see these beds, how low they are? They're 2 or 3 inches from the top. So this is a beautiful plant medium that I can throw over in here. It's going to be nice and fluffy and loose. And I probably will, this first little segment that I'm throwing in, I probably will take my little tool I had over there. These some peas, but I don't think they're going to do anything, y'all. I'm going to pull them up and chill them on. They're not going to do anything. Those are those ones I planted and they so happen to survive the freeze. I should have brought my whatchamacallit with me. That's why you're supposed to be prepared, like the Boy Scouts. Was the Girl Scouts prepared? I wasn't in the Girl Scouts. Somebody tell me, was anybody in the Girl Scouts? Was they prepared too? Or what was they teaching in the Girl Scouts? Or was it, patriarchal? They wasn't teaching the girls nothing but how to sew and stuff like that. I hope they were teaching the girls how to build tents and things like that. I know the boys was doing. But yeah, that's just stuff I wonder sometimes. My mother was a brownie. She said they didn't learn nothing in their troop. She had me broke up out there. She said she hurried up and got out of bed because they didn't learn anything. But yeah, I'm just going to, and this is just going to help me loosen and till a little this in to the top. The little soil that was already in there. Just help me fluff it up a little bit. And let me tell y'all, these beds here, I never did put coconut coir in these beds. And I regret it. I really do. So if you can, please, 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 work some coconut coir into your beds. It will keep your soils fluffy and aerated. These soils I did here was just wood chips and charcoal. And although they had good nutrition, they ended up compacting on me. And it made it hard on the plants when they ended up compacting on me. So yeah, y'all do your best to try to work you some coconut coir in. I'm going to finish filling up this bed and turn those pea plants under. And till next time, see you guys later.